Hi, I'm Bran, and I love Netflix Christmas movies.
I'm Dan, and I despise Netflix Christmas movies.
I'm Jax, and Netflix has the far superior Christmas movies.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm Alonso, and that Christmas, and this
is the Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast.
Brandon and friends host this podcast.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Ba, 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 bum. Hello, everybody. Happy Monday to you. It's great to be here today.
So good to be here.
With our friends Alonso and Jax. Jax,
Last
Merry
of the
Christmas
season.
to you.
Yeah.
Or how are you doing? And how are you feeling about this being our last time together before Christmas?
You know, I'm a little emotional, and this movie made me even more so. I love you guys, and I can't wait for our adventures in 2025.
Oh, love you too.
That's true. And we are not going to have to wait long, Jax, because When Calls the Heart is kicking off in January this year.
This life's not fair.
We're so pumped. And
At least it'll be cold and dreary outside.
That's going to be... That's gonna be
Can we
great.
just keep decking the Netflix? Can we find more
Yeah.
Netflix content to review with
Yes.
We gotta
Alonso?
do-
It doesn't have to be
Netflix
Christmas.
original movies instead of When Calls the Heart. Twist my arm right now. We'll lose a ton of listeners, and I don't care.
Don't get me wrong. I love When Calls the Heart.
Good for you.
I'm still a Hardy.
What is the big thing? What do we need to remember about? We can do this on episode 1. Of
Yeah,
the
we don't
season.
need to.
Let's
We can do a
that.
preview episode. We're good.
We'll
at
do a
those.
preview.
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't remember what happened last season. So
I think she and the Mountie are finally
That's right.
acknowledging
get-
that they're a
did they
thing.
get-
Jack is back. Oh my God.
now
Oh,
that
the
is
other,
an
the not
interesting-
dead
Yeah,
Mountie.
yeah.
Daniel Listing being back
sorry.
with the network, though, is an interesting wrinkle to look for this
Sure,
season.
yeah.
And we
Right.
don't know that he's dead for sure because the guy has something to tell her.
But
doesn't he?
also,
That
The
sounds
body.
right.
he died off screen. We never saw
Never
a
saw a
body.
body.
and
Never saw a body.
That is the cardinal rule.
We saw a hat. We
Yeah.
have
Bring
a
me the
hat.
head of Ghost Jack.
Bring the head of Ghost
They,
Jack. Exactly.
they brought a hat, not a head. So
Man, if
it
they
could be
brought
anything.
the severed head of Ghost Jack, of Jack, I would best show of all time. Emmys.
Mountie Kevin McGarry, I have something for you. It is the head of.
Everybody's like,
Your girlfriend's ex.
Ned at the Mercantile's puking in a wastebasket.
Gowan plays soccer with it.
May Sue is trying to do his hair. It's a whole
But
thing.
Ben-
You are so right. There's really an opportunities for some for
Gallows
Florence to
humor.
faint.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
there's
yeah.
you're so
Yeah.
Dan, you really set that scene.
Yeah,
And it's
Jack
time-
Wagner's like, I don't even think it's a real head.
And this is the time for Ben Russell time or whatever, Jax, the guy that you like.
Rosenbaum.
A
Come on, man.
Rosenbaum.
for him to really shine and maybe do some more yoga or something, because you have to breathe through a situation
got
like
to.
that. So this could be a pretty
Yeah.
big time.
I would watch that man do calisthenics all day long.
That's exactly right.
We're sure
Alonso,
honest.
Alonso, Merry Christmas to you. You
Merry
are
Christmas.
Joining us again.
We saw you. We saw both of them
I
for
know.
5 straight
We just
days.
saw-
How was Con
Yes.
though?
How was Con? Was it good for both of you?
It's like summer camp. You see everybody, and it's just a lot of feels, and then bam, you're all back home again.
That's
You're
right.
back
Just
home.
like that.
Alonso, it was kind of weird when we ended up near the mistletoe and people thought we were going to kiss on the cheek, but then we just did tongue.
Look, you got to give the people what they want, even if they don't know they want it.
Speaking of Ned vomiting in the wastebasket, something
How
about that
dare
feels
you.
all wrong.
And look, I know-
cheering it on. I was rooting. I do feel like I was a little
Can
bit
you
responsible.
believe Brand continued to gamble with that dude on Christmas Movie Magic? I mean,
Oh
after he
my
lost his
gosh.
shirt, it was out of control.
I've never seen anyone actually wear a barrel before, but Brand made it work.
Luckily, they had one. They had
Yeah.
one. You never know what's going to happen.
I know that we're always pushing the one button ad skip, but I just want to say for all of the philo.tv/DTH people, you get to see my tree.
I mean, come
nice.
on.
Looks
Dave
great.
and I have created like a really extraordinary tree this year.
Your
The Instagram DXAX tree. Is that
Yes.
correct? That's fantastic.
That is it.
Yeah, it's a great follow.
Remind me of how this conversation took place. But you sent me a picture of your tree, and I
Yes.
love your tree, and I said that tree is adorable. And what was it that Dave White came back at me with?
They said that tree is magnificent.
How dare
he
you?
was offended by my adorable comment.
Yeah, because adorable just sounds a
It
tad
did
condescending.
but I
I'm sure you didn't mean
I
it that
didn't
way.
mean it.
but-
I love an adorable tree. I thought I really like it. Really
Thank you.
like it.
And I bet, and I sent you the picture before pre-adornments. So, but now every single ornament we own is on this thing because it's that tall and spacious.
They're on
With
the tree
that,
and on Instagram. So
with that Los Angeles sun just shining through in the background. Fantastic.
you love to see it.
We do what we can.
A reminder: Christmas movie Magic. It is still out, and it is still plenty of time to play it. We're all going to be watching so many Christmas movies with our families over the next week or so.
I watched this one with my kids.
There you go.
right.
So,
But please, no wagering.
well,
no, it gets out of hand in a hurry.
but you can, and we learned that lesson. And
You can.
You know that got things happen. But deckthehallmark.com/game, you can get it. Let's talk That Christmas. That Christmas, our venture into animation today. Over on the Netflix. It originally premiered a long time ago, and Alonso saw it, and then it dropped on Netflix on December 4th, and Alonso saw it again. And it went a little something like this. The movie kicks off with Santa delivering presents. He is down to one reindeer and is facing the worst storm on record, but that's not going to stop him from delivering gifts to Wellington-on-Sea. He falls off the roof, and Santa says, I think we need to go back to the beginning, to the school play on December 22nd. On December 22nd, we meet Danny, a new kid in town who doesn't want anybody to notice him except for his crush, Sam. There's also the director of the play, a student named Bernadette, and the star of the play, Sam's twin, Charlie. Bernadette comes on stage and announces that they're going to do a fresh take on the story of Jesus, featuring remakes of Wannabe, Spice Girls, Little Stevie Wonder's Happy Birthday, and so much more. A school play that
Would
watch.
Would watch.
Of course, they all live in this charming town, which is known for their love of Christmas and for community. But everything is about to get very complicated because of the snow. Everyone wakes up on the 23rd to a winter wonderland, and everyone is aware that it is a snow day except for Danny. Danny's mom is busy with work, didn't see the text, didn't tell him, so he makes his way to school just in time to see Miss Trapper, his grumpy teacher, who tells him that he should stay and work on his studies while his mom's at work because he needs all the help that he can get. So he spends the day learning in the classroom, but mainly learning out in the snow, learning some physics via snowman and igloo. It turns out that Miss Trapper is very skilled at snow. Sam and Charlie spend the day tormenting their neighbor and getting in trouble for it. And it's clear that Sam and Charlie's parents believe that Charlie is naughty, and Sam is very concerned about this, especially after they received the stern reminder that Santa Claus is indeed coming to town. Bernadette spends the day with her extended family, friends, this whole combination of people, wishing that they wouldn't do the same exact thing every year. It's finally Christmas Eve morning, and Charlie wastes no time getting in trouble, being a little naughty, by freeing a bunch of caged turkeys, which doesn't seem so naughty to Sam or to me. Danny spends the day figuring out how to talk to Sam when he sees her at the family shop later in the day. He also receives some bad news from his dad that he won't be home for Christmas due to the snow. Meanwhile, all the adults in Bernadette's family head off to dance and whatnot, and they end up getting stranded in the snow with no way to get home for Christmas morning. So we are now back to the beginning. Santa is coming to save everyone's Christmas, bringing them exactly what they need, but the blizzard is really something. But of course, Santa knows it all. He whips up something special for Danny, who is really into monster trucks. He manages to get all the presents down the chimney at Bernadette's house, despite needing multiple bags. And of course, Sam gets what she wants. However, Santa thinks that Charlie is naughty, so it's going to leave nothing for Charlie, but accidentally, they're twins. So Santa does a little mix-up here and accidentally puts Sam's stocking and gift on Charlie's bed. So when Charlie wakes up in the middle of the night, she's pumped to find out that she got exactly what she wanted, but then looks over and sees that Sam got nothing and realizes that Santa must have goofed so sneaks over and puts all of the presents onto Sam's bed, which causes an alert to be sent to Santa that a naughty kid has turned nice. So he turns back and makes sure that Charlie has something waiting on Christmas morning. It is Christmas morning, and Charlie is shocked to see the gifts and a little button that says an official nice lister. Bernadette decides that it is her job to guide the kids to making this Christmas special and new and fresh, just like she did with the play. Danny is excited to see his amazing Christmas present from Santa, this cool four-wheeler, but is sad to find out that his mom unexpectedly has to go to work. While moping around, he notices that his neighbor, Miss Trapper, looks awfully lonely, and so since they had some fun together building the snowman, he figures, what could it hurt? Let me go check on her. When she finds out that his mom is at work, they decide to work together to surprise his mom with a magical winter wonderland igloo situation in the backyard, complete with Christmas lights and a wonderful Christmas dinner. As Bernadette's parents finally make it back home, they realize that they can't find Bernadette's younger sister, who is taking the game of hide and seek very seriously. So the whole town comes together to find her, thanks in part to Danny and Sam, who joined forces on the four-wheeler and who are now, I think is clear to say, officially a thing. The next day, everyone shows up for the annual Boxing Day cold plunge, and they celebrate the beauty of Wellington-on-the-Sea and the magic of Christmas. And that, my friends, was That Christmas.
We did it.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll get to That Christmas here on
Deck the Hallmark.
Nice.
Nailed it.
See, if you cough right in the
Yeah.
middle of the ad break, there's
There's
a
nothing you
marker
can
there,
do.
and
There's nothing
people
you can
they
do.
might not know it.
Yeah, that's right.
So
Nothing you can do.
unless you're ad-free
Sometimes
Rebel
you
Jam
have
Plus,
perfect timing.
then you know.
Yeah.
Unless you mention it.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
No.
We're talking That Christmas. Netflix animated movie. Is it a new classic? Let's talk about it. We're going to share our hot takes. I'm going to start with you, Jax. Jax, what did you think of That Christmas?
So in the preview episode, I don't know if you guys remember or if our listeners remember, but I'm not an animated movie girly, and I'd forgotten that this one was an animated one. So when I turned it on all excited to watch the latest Netflix Christmas movie, and I turned it on and I groaned and I was like, oh, this is the animated one. I'll get to it later. So then the next day I turned it on, and boy, was I wrong. Boy, was I wrong. This was my favorite of the season. I, at one point, was screaming and keening, wailing, and watching this unfold, and was moved beyond belief. This cast, well, first of all, the cast, Jodie Whittaker, who I love, Bill Nighy, Fiona Shaw, an embarrassment of riches there. But I thought that this movie really hit on something that I don't see many Christmas movies do with such grace and elegance, when it called Christmas this emotional magnifying glass. And I can feel the happiest at the season, very much so, but also feel the sadness, and that ambivalence and that paradox is something that is, one of the biggest part of the experiences of being human. And I think this film captured it exquisitely, and each story I was equally invested in. I was so touched by this. I laughed. I was delighted. I felt all the things, and I loved it. Far and away, Hallmark could never.
What?
I love you, Hallmark, though. Hire me anytime. I'm still a fan.
Maybe they could with Jax.
Maybe they could.
Yeah, that would make the difference.
Look, they might need Fiona Shaw if they really wanna, but yeah.
Alonso, you saw it when it premiered at a festival, and
Yes.
now it's out for the world to see. What'd you think about That Christmas?
Yeah. Oh God, this movie is just a delight. I luckily Netflix here in Los Angeles screened it in advance of its premiere at the London Film Festival this year, so I got to see it
right.
projected, which was fabulous.
Oh, look at this.
I watched it again on TV last night, and this is just to reiterate everything that Jack says. Like, it just emotionally lands, does so much right that movies get wrong all the time. I mean, like every Hallmark and Lifetime movie that's about a snowstorm could take notes about like how you actually deal with a snowstorm, not just talking about the snow itself, because I get it's easier in animation than it is to try and fake it in real life, but just in terms of the way that things shut down and the way that the things become inaccessible or whatever, they really get that part. Also, a thing that has driven me nuts for years now, I'd say as far back as Hook, is the idea that parents are supposed to feel guilty for working hard and missing their kids like little league game or recital or whatever. And it's like, hi, sorry folks, it's late stage capitalism. People got to work if they want to feed their children and like, have a place for them to live. So cut them some slack. And this movie cuts the working mom some slack. And it's the kid who realizes that he needs to be more understanding. He needs to accept the realities of life and the way that things are because their dad walked out on them, that she is keeping it all together. And she needs his support, not his griping that she's not around for the thing that he wants her to be around. So for that alone, this movie gets like all the stars. But yeah, it is just consistently moving and funny. A murderer's row of voice talent, including Lolly Adefope from the series Shrill, I'm a big fan of, who plays Bernadette's mom. Just a delight from start to finish.
Just more rave reviews. Boy, this movie
put a lot of pressure on me here.
This movie slaps. It's incredible, and we've talked about how beautifully they did with the stories, and I also teared up multiple times. I also just want to give a shout out to the animation of this movie, which is incredible. The texture that they have on the snow, like when he's building the snowman, the texture is so rich. Like I honestly, I couldn't believe it. It was beautiful. I wish I could have seen it projected because I imagine it would have popped even more. But just a beautiful and bright movie that is just as rich with the animation as it is with the characters in the world in which they've built here. These characters, they're doing a lot here. Now, we are going to talk about Cherry Lane, a Hallmark movie.
Do that.
Hold
Don't
on.
ruin this
We're going to talk about Cherry Lane in a while here, and and we're going to continue to talk about the next couple weeks about Cherry Lane because Hallmark's doing a thing where they do this. And Hallmark could take notes about how to tell a story with multiple storylines and still give you rich characters, complex emotions, tricky storylines that all at the end, they all make you feel. They all make you feel something and something different. It's not one note. And so this movie is amazing. I do think that it is a new Christmas classic and one that I will watch every year. An absolutely stunning movie from top to bottom. Dano?
This is the best movie, Christmas movie I've seen this year. It's one I will watch again before the season is over, and I will watch every year. It is a gosh darn delight. I loved every second of this. It's a movie that I'm titling Actually Love Actually. It's a movie that takes the idea of all of these stories and weaves them together, and it really is more in the Christmas spirit. This movie challenges your interpretation of Christmas spirit by eschewing traditions for kindness. It is a movie that honors the working parent, honors the kid who's different, honors the kid who isn't seen for who they are, honors found families. If I told you this sentence, if I said, hey, there are kids out there growing up right now that think the world thinks they're terrible. The world thinks they're terrible. And if you can find a way to spin the top in Inception, if you can find a way to make that kid realize that they're good and kind and they're needed, they might not look any different outside, but they will hold that kindness close to their heart and it'll change them. That's what this movie does. I was blown away by this movie. It was from start to finish, every storyline, from the time you see the Christmas pageant, they announce to you everything that you want to see in a Christmas classic is not happening here. This is better. This movie isn't about Santa Claus. Brian Cox and Bill Nighy, the two things that I thought I was really looking forward to in this movie, they're just kind of on the periphery. They're important, but they're not the show here. The show are all these wonderful people in this town coming together as a community. This movie rules. It's so good. You got to go and watch this. My kids enjoyed it. It's fantastic. I can't say enough good things about it.
It's time for all the feels where we talk about what this movie gave us feels. Jax.
I'm already crying based on everyone. Woo! Based on on everyone's reviews, and also just like looking down, thinking about the movie and looking down at the few notes I wrote around and things that touched me. I could go on, but I know we all have feels for this one, so which is great, right? Like we all felt something. When Danny and Sam meet up at the store, and she hands him the wine gummy with the floof on it, and she's like, needs a bit of a clean, and I just could not. I lost it then.
Yeah.
It was like these two. This lonely kid, this girl with anxiety. I can feel the loneliness, and like they're these little live wires, vulnerable children, like just connecting in this like profound way. And he falls and he says, "I'm the feeblest human alive." It's just like, oh my word, just so much. Also, she's hilarious, and she's talking about the rapidly evolving climate change disaster.
Oh,
and he's like, oh, okay, like it's so funny.
Yeah.
So it's like an equal measure of like I'm crying, and then I'm like, that's really funny. And then just the lines that absolutely, I was watching this alone, and absolutely like I was like doubling over, is when Danny's mom, says it's not nice to die without someone you like holding your hand, and she just says it so matter-of-factly. And you realize like she is going to do her job, which is like we're talking about, and rightfully so, this late stage capitalism, which is very problematic in lots of ways, but it's also a calling of hers, and she's trying to like explain this to her son. And then when his teacher is like, who do you think's having a harder time right now? And I think when we watch kids learn that there's a world outside of themselves, so when he creates the mom, my hero, or mom, and she comes home, and then it's time to celebrate the wins and live with the losses, also said with such unsentimentality. And then finally, Bill Nighy having one last Christmas with his mom. I mean, you did me in. You did me in that Christmas. And I loved it. I loved it so much. Who knew that I could really like animation?
Yeah, you weren't excited about Wicked or animation. Look at you. Just look at you.
What happened to me? I'm lonely.
Alonso, any feels for you?
Oh God, Jack, you're making me reclip now too. So much here.
A day after making out under the mistletoe. It's
maybe we both have dengue fever at this point. I don't know. The stuff with the Ms. Trapper, like the fact that she has these walls in place that she sort of starts to let down over the course of the film, but then can still use them to get stuff done, to intimidate the turkey guy to go rescue the parents or whatever. I loved her arc. It was never too easy or facile, but it was still very moving. Sam's big speech where she explains why Charlie is actually nice and not naughty, and that all the stuff she does that seems naughty on the outside has a genuine, like, oh God. So lots of feels, many feels.
Everything that everyone's mentioned, of course. And Jackson, you brought it up in your hot take, but the explanation that Christmas is this emotional magnifying glass is like kind of like it's how I feel. Like I've always been at like, what is your deal? Like why do you love Christmas so much? And I know Alonso as
what if I just kept the magnifying glass on me the whole time and burned this sucker to the ground?
But there's something about Christmas time that just slaps, and it is this idea. It just is this emotional magnifying glass, and man, I thought that was so well put. And if this was like Hallmark, they would have said it, reminded you of that line 10 times.
Oh, yeah.
This movie's ability to just like,
I just don't know if she likes me for me or because of my money.
I know. So this movie's ability to give you these like humdingers and then never go back to it.
So British.
It's just like whole slow down.
Yeah.
And their ability to do all of this in an hour and 30 minutes was a marvel to behold.
We haven't said the name Richard Curtis yet, and we
Which
probably
is just
should.
bonkers. The guy directed Love Actually, 4 Weddings and a Funeral, and About Time.
Yeah.
And he wrote this movie.
And to that point,
He wrote 4 Weddings.
Yeah. Oh, my bad. He wrote it. My bad.
them having a little bit, or him specifically having some fun at the expense of Love Actually in this
Yes.
movie was
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
funny and made me laugh out loud. Dan?
If I talk about the twins and the speech, I will cry, and that's not our journey today. I'm going to go with soundtrack.
You
It's
saw your
safe.
twins in this movie. That's so
It's-
crazy.
right? Oh yeah, they were watching it with me. I was a mess. I'm gonna go with the soundtrack. That's safe. That's not too emotional. Ed Sheeran writes a ballad for this movie. It's lovely. You should go listen. You've probably never heard me mention Ed Sheeran in all the years we've done this.
Shout out Ed Sheeran.
I don't have a take on Ed Sheeran. He's fine. This song is lovely. It's a sweet piano ballad. Add in some Kelly Clarkson, add in some Coldplay.
Yeah.
The soundtrack is representative of the folks in the movie and not all of these 1950s bangers. And I appreciated that so very much. And it really took this movie to another level.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll get to the wait what and the what the homework here on Deck the Homework. I got it.
You got it.
I got
You
it.
got it.
You got it.
You got it.
Welcome back, everybody. We're talking about that Christmas. It's time for the Wait What. Is where we talk about what in this movie that made us all cry. Also made us go, wait, what? And go, hold on one second.
So many wait what's here.
So let's get to it. Jax, what made you go, wait, what?
I'm just laughing thinking about the fact that, you know, all of us here, Alonso and I crying. I think you guys are right on the cusp of it. And like, you know, eventually when we shuffle off this mortal coil at our actual funerals, we'll be like, wow, we cried harder on that Christmas episode than we are right
That's
now.
right. I'm going to give your
but-
eulogy, Jackson. All the eyes will be dry. No one will cry at all. Be like, yeah, I mean, she lived a good one, you know.
It was good.
I don't know how she died before Dan, but she lived a good one.
And but you know, get Philo TV because we're really giving you your money's worth.
That's right. We all
Love
love
watching people cry.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
just
their
saying.
favorite thing.
This is the
I think-
uplifting bit heavy episode everyone was anticipating this week.
Which it certainly was not. I think my biggest wait what was that after I watched this and it wasn't yet time to talk with my friends about it and I watched it alone, I was like, oh, I'm going to go read the reviews to see how much everyone liked it just as much as I did and how touched we are. And
Is
how...
it not raves?
Okay, so a lot of raves, but I made the mistake of like looking on Google reviews and seeing a lot of 5-star reviews and then a bunch of 1-star.
Oh my gosh.
So I just wanted to let you guys know that a movie that I think and that obviously was so touching, and as you really astutely put, Dan, it eschews Christmas traditions in favor of kindness. Is that what you said?
That's exactly what I said. Yeah.
I think, and so much of that, like, look, I don't think we need to break it down like religion-wise, but if you are someone who identifies as a Christian, I think those are Christian values. I think there are values in almost every religion, but that's not what the people on Google thought.
No.
And they said that this was a far-right woke movie.
Far left,
wow.
I would assume.
Yeah, Oh, yeah. Sorry.
right.
Oh my gosh. Yes,
Warm.
please. That
heard
would
it
be
both
completely
ways.
different. That this woke liberal agenda,
Oh my God.
and like really took down the play in the beginning, which I just thought, honestly, it didn't even occur to me. I just thought it was really funny, and they were trying to do something different, and didn't occur to me as something that even people would think of as blasphemous. But then there was a review on Google that was like, hey, if you're feeling triggered by the beginning, just don't watch it. It doesn't affect the rest of it.
At
It's
all.
a beautiful movie that you'll love.
Yeah, go
So
watch
I-
The Chosen, you know,
But
geez.
yeah, but also like, guys, these are kids. Like last night, my kid loves to make up songs and sang a song about Abraham Lincoln as Jesus. It was hysterical. It was really, if you think your God is that fragile, he's not God. Like, just stop it. That's
when your
crazy.
dad is a history teacher.
Yeah.
God loves each and every little of his chickpeas. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's crazy.
Even if they
Like-
look like potatoes.
Yeah.
They look like
I
potatoes.
handed Grizz and Gav earmuffs.
They couldn't
We heard
possibly.
that song from across the fence, and I was like, "Hey, kids, you get in here.
Yeah, I don't know if you can't
Hold
you can't
fast.
listen to that.
Listen to that.
Hold fast.
Hold fast." Anything else, Jax?
No, that was my wait what, and then I went to Reddit, and they agreed with me, so
I can't
all was
believe
right in the world.
that I just looked at the Rotten Tomato score up on this, and it's crazy. It's just crazy. I don't. Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
just-
our friend Bibbs, not a fan.
yeah. I saw that. That
Your
one,
friend, Ben.
Yeah.
What about you, Alonso? Anyway, what?
Yeah, I think the movie does a pretty good job of sticking to its own internal logic. The only things that I would question would be, is there heat in that barn?
Always.
Because like it's a barn, and then also, can you shoot Brussels sprouts out of a Nerf gun?
I know exactly what
thing
you're talking about. I had the same
without
thought.
gumming up the works.
I'll give you an update out on Christmas. I'll give it.
Yeah,
I'll
let
give
me
it.
know.
I'll
Of
give it a
course,
shot.
of course you
I'll give
will.
you a shot. I have a couple. One, I just felt sad that the kids even had to have a snow day on December 23rd. Guys, it's just too late. It's too
Yeah.
late. Those kids
Why
should be
are you
out
in
of school.
school? Why are you in
Get
school?
out of here. And
Pageant happened already.
and
Come
my
on.
advice to Danny would be if Danny asked, "Hey, Bran, what advice would you give to me?" I would say, you just because your teacher tells you, "Hey, come on into school on this snow day,"
You just say no.
you say no.
You say no.
You
You just say
don't
no.
have to. It's a snow day. And also,
That's what Nancy
it's-
Reagan taught me. Just
also,
say no.
it's weird if one teacher asks you to come into a
Weird.
closed down
right.
school on a snow day. You say no, and you
I mean,
don't take candy from strangers. Those are
The
two
latter
things.
is true, but I think we see in this movie that nobody says no to Miss
Nobody
Trapp.
said that. That is more than fair. Yes, but that would be the advice. She can't keep you there. She can't keep you there. It's a snow day. School's closed. She can't keep you there. Dano?
This is, we're bringing in other deities like Santa Claus here, but Santa has time to flip back around and go and deliver those gifts. Cannot help a group of adults fighting for their life on ice. Can't swing by and just grab them. That reindeer is freaking strong, man. You can't give him a nudge, nothing.
He got the info on his little receipt. No parents on Christmas morning. He's like,
Yeah.
well, my hands.
If
are fed."
anybody's like, I can't believe in God because bad things happen to good people, but Santa, Santa's
On
out
the
here
other
letting
hand.
adults die on the ice out there. That's crazy.
Did they ask Santa for help? They did not.
Oh, that's
so,
maybe they
you
didn't
know,
believe.
Write the letter.
Yeah, it is very weird to me when the parents do make it home safely and they embrace all of their children and they do a really great job with Bernadette going, hey, we asked you to do too much. You did the best you could. You lost Evie. We got to go find her. I thought that was wonderful. But then they proceed to cut those kids all loose in the snow without any adult supervision. They're like, we're so glad we made it home. We missed you so much. You survived 24 hours without us. We're going to stay here in the fire if you want to go find your sister. Like, one, you can't send one adult out there just to keep watch. They literally all stand there while their kids into the gray once more. It was wild.
We're gonna wait for Miss Trapper.
It was
She'll know what to do.
it was a wild
You guys
experience watching these parents who had missed their children and the holiday watch them walk away into the driving snow. That was the one moment of this whole movie that took me out of it. I was like, "Bleh, I don't think that tracks." And then this is very nitpicky, but the Post-it notes are so cute in this movie. But a mom that is working as hard as she is, the shift she is, it's just not efficient. There's so many ways to tell your kid everything. The Post-it notes are costing you time at the hospital, time with your kid. It's a lot. There's so many things you can do that aren't that.
Also, with my luck, I'd read them out of order and be very confused.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you do that, and then the stuff. There's stuff over there. Let's get to what the hallmark is for. We wonder what could have been. Maybe have some clarity and questions that we still have. What are we still wondering about after we see that Christmas, Jax?
So this is one of those movies. It's like, I agree with you guys. It's going to be an every year watch for me. But I don't need a sequel. Like I love this movie existing in the way that it is. I guess I just am really curious like he's a deadbeat dad, right? Like it's not good things that are keeping him from his son. He's just a deadbeat dad.
He ran off with a hygienist.
Yeah.
That's what I was. Yes,
He's a bad
I was
father.
picturing.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a bad dad. Okay, really? Then you guys just answered it. I'm not wondering about anything, and he can go just slog right off, as
Slog
they say.
right off. Just slog right off.
Slog right off.
Alonso?
Yeah, I mean, they even tell you, they show you in the closing credits what the following Christmas looked like. So, like, so that's pretty much answered for you. I did go to Google because I wasn't entirely sure what a wine gum was.
I don't know what it is.
It's basically a gummy candy, but it doesn't have wine in it, although it often will be named for like champagne or port or whatever. But they are, with few exceptions, non-alcoholic. So yeah, they're basically like gummy bears, but they're shaped like, ovals or whatever.
Oh, shout out wine gums.
Shout out wine gums.
That's right.
I could do for a sequel of this movie, but with different characters.
Same Santa.
Yeah. This
Mm.
Santa's dope.
Good
This
idea.
Santa is very cool. He doesn't have hat. He has hood.
Yeah.
He's got the shaved buzz cut going on
Brian
over there.
Cox was a great Santa.
Very cool guy. And if I have any complaint, I kind of want a little bit, just a smidge more of him because I thought he was so good.
Yeah.
But I could do for another one of these type of movies. The way that Richard Curtis told this and had all these things work together with this Santa, I think it does make for a potential for a sequel that could be really good. And so I'd be down to do that.
This is based on a book, and I think there are 3 books. And mine,
several books.
Mine is this, and I could have Googled this, obviously. Could we do another one of the books, or did they combine the 3 books?
It said that it was based on the 3 books.
Okay. All right. So they did.
Or wait,
combine
is that
them.
right, Alonso? I feel like
I think so. Yeah, I think they took 3 discrete stories and intertwined them. Because this is the Love Actually guy, after all.
Yeah, it's a Love Actually guy.
More than fair. More
That's
than fair.
of course.
Well, we did it, everybody.
Yeah, we did.
Congratulations to us. It is not it's the last that we're going to hear from Jax for the calendar year, and that is very sad, but she will be back in January. When Calls the Heart. It's going to be a lot of fun. Not the last that we're going to hear of Alonso. Alonso's going to be back. Is it later this week? Yes, later this week, covering the Santa class, which is going to be a lot of fun. And, of course, Dave White will be joining us to close out the holiday season with Happy Holidays. It's going to be a great time.
What a time.
So come on back. We're going to be back tomorrow with another episode. Until then, maybe we're the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmarks of Bramble Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.